guys, and welcome back to Armored Warfare, and today I'm going to be teaching you the basics of the game. Starting a new game can be quite a daunting task. New UI, new ideas, new approaches to the game, and this can turn some people away, but you know, not today. After watching this video, you'll have a basic understanding of how to start the game in good step, and you'll most definitely be one step ahead when you first jump into a battle. The garage can look a bit scary with, what does each button do? What do the lines mean? Well, from the top left to the bottom right, we're going to be looking at them in an orderly fashion. So, here we go. This is where you can upgrade, surprisingly, your vehicles. New guns, new ammo, tracks, engines, and even new armor packages. So keeping track of this tab is quite useful. Knowing what modules would be the best to upgrade first, say if you had a weak gun for your tier, you may want to consider buying the upgraded gun with new ammunition types to try and even out the vehicle. Or if it's got very sluggish mobility, you might want to consider upgrading the engine to improve your acceleration. The large horizontal orange bar at the top of the upgrades panel is your vehicle's progress. You'll notice that when purchasing upgrades on your vehicle, this bar increases. When you reach 50% completed on the vehicle, it'll gain a proven status. This then allows you to purchase the extra upgrades at the bottom of the upgrades panel, such as brand new retrofits, titles, avatars, and money. When you reach a renowned status, 100%, this then allows you for the collection of free reputation on the vehicle for conversion with gold later on if you so choose to. The dealers work quite a bit differently to how other games' tech trees may have worked. You start out with the starter vehicles. At the moment, it's the PT-76 and M113. You play these vehicles and upgrade them to research new tech trees. Wait a second, we have to unlock tech trees in the tech tree? Yes, essentially, but the unlocks are not that hard. It can be easily completed with the standard armor vehicles you'll have. The requirements can just be block a certain amount of damage or deal a certain amount of damage, spot a number of vehicles, etc. No sweat. Once you've unlocked your vehicles in the tech trees, you'll realise that no dealer is country specific. For instance, Shishkin has both Eastern and Western European armour, USSR and British tanks respectively, in one dealer, whereas Wolfie has both American and German armour under one dealer. Some people say this isn't logical, but it certainly isn't, but it does add a lot of flexibility to the trees, and can allow for dynamic trees and the fitting in the vehicles that may not fit in anywhere else. Now, you've been playing for a long time now, you finally managed to hit yourself to tier 8 and wonder, where the hell does my tech tree lead? Well, time to explain how tier 9s and 10 progression works. They work on a token system, so when you finally renown a tier 8, you can unlock a tier 9 token. This allows you to pick any tier 9 from the dealer tree, so for instance, I have unlocked my tier 9 token on the Leopard 2A5. I can unlock the Crab tier 9 AFV, and then on the same token system applies for tier 9 to tier 10. So I complete the Crab, and then I can purchase any tier 10 from that dealer tree. So I go from the Crab to the XM1A3. But you can't cross the tokens between dealers. So Wolfie tokens only work for Wolfie vehicles. Same applies to Shishkin and the Zheng dealer at the moment. Base building is a new concept in Armoured Warfare. What it allows you to do is firstly collect raw materials through logging in each day, 100 per day. Other methods of obtaining raw materials will happen in the future, such as challenges and loot drops. So yeah, what do I do with my raw materials now that I've collected them? Well, you can start building up your military base. Each base does something different, such as the garage reduces your repair bill of all your vehicles by 10% when upgraded to level 5, and the command center increases the global reputation gain by 50% over every battle. And there will be more buildings added in the future, and the details of these are unclear at the moment, but from what personally I have gathered and what I have heard, they will produce extra more raw materials and maybe give additional loot drops in the future. This basically is your service record, telling you your win rates, hit ratios, damage done, damage received, a breakdown of your specific vehicle stats and your achievements from in-game, allowing you to compare them to your friends and, pick who's the better player out of you two. These two buttons you'll easily be able to recognise. Very obvious top centre of the garage. The yellow is PvP and the orange is PvE. This actually confused me at first when looking at the dealer trees. The two separate requirements for unlocking tech trees, but it's just different requirements for each game mode, so just match the colour up to the game mode you play. PvE generally earns a lot more credits and experience than PvE does. This allows for a platoon of 3 people to go into a battle with only 1 artillery per PvP platoon, for balancing reasons of course. Whereas PvE allows for a 5-man platoon, and PvE games only having a 5-man team, it's really good fun to team up with 4 other of your friends and just completely take out the AI. Whereas PvP is of the normal 15 versus 15 matchup. PvE as well, when you click the battle button, you'll not be queued straight away unlike PvP. This is because you can choose what difficulty you want to play. Easy, medium or hard, and soon will be coming the insane mode. Each mode will give you more credits and reputation than the previous mode. Crew are an important part of a tank. They are an important part of improving your vehicle in Armoured Warfare as well. They are what you would expect from the crew classes. You have the commander, the gunner, the loader, and the driver. Each crew member can be upgraded with skills, improving your tank a bit. The commander is a little different, but a bit more of that soon. The gunner can get skills that improves aiming time by 20% or accuracy by 20%, and the loader can get improved skills for reload speed by 5%. They're skills that are not specific to the commander or the crew member. They're very generic skills. Whereas the commander is different, of course. Instead of getting the 2 skills like other crew members get, they can get 5. And each commander has a backstory and traits to them. So Sabrina is a very stealthy commander, reducing the amount of camouflage lost when firing and improves overall camo. Whereas Ioannis focus greatly on critical damage, improving crew and module damage by 20%, and my favourite one, doubling the chance of an engine fire. You must look at your tank and judge what skills and what commander would be best suitable for your gameplay and the vehicle you're going to be playing. Reload speed by This is a different aspect to Armoured Warfare as well, as in other games where you can only upgrade the gun, which gives you 2 or 3 ammo types with that one gun, whereas here in Armoured Warfare, as well as purchasing a new gun, which will have better stats than the previous gun, you can also upgrade the ammunition that gun fires, improving penetration, damage, muzzle velocity, etc. So some vehicles have multiple types of the same ammunition. For instance, the Scorpion gets 3 types of high explosive round, all a bit different from each other and how they work in game. Or the M1 Abrams gets 3 types of armor piercing, 3 types of heat, and 2 types of high explosive round, allowing for a very dynamic loadout. Always read the stats of each shell and decide what would be better for your playstyle. Also, changing your loadout for PvP and PvE is very useful, giving yourself more heat rounds because they do a lot more damage than AP for PvE, whereas you'll want more AP than heat in PvP because of the higher penetration. Retrofits are a huge and very cool idea that has been added to the game. So you're used to fixed equipment, only giving 1 buff across the board. Well, say goodbye to that, because here the retrofits can give very good buffs, and even so, 2 buffs per retrofit. And depending on the mark of the retrofit, the buffs can be improved from 2% to 4% to 6%. In some cases can go up to like 8 or 9%. So we have 4 forms of retrofit: firepower, mobility, armor, and technology. Firepower, mobility, and armor are self-explanatory retrofits, improving the damage of the gun, the mobility of the vehicle, and the health and, critical damage of the vehicle. Whereas the technology improves the stats around the vehicle, such as capture times, view range, and cruise skills. There are universal retrofit slots on vehicles as well. This is where you can put any retrofit in that slot. So if you have 3 universal slots, for instance, you could put 3 firepower retrofits in them, but you can only use 1 retrofit on a vehicle at a time. So you can't stack damage from an experimental propellant, for instance, on the same vehicle. Look at the vehicle you're playing and decide what retrofits would be best for it. If it's a highly mobile AFV or light tank, you may want to consider mobility and technology retrofits, whereas MBTs, you would teeter on the edge of considering firepower and armour, depending on what the MBT's like. So choose wisely, because they can become very expensive to keep demounting and buying. So guys, I hope you've learned something new today. I hope all the new players who have watched this video understand a bit more about the game functions and what all the shiny buttons do in your garage. If you have any other questions or suggestions, please put them in the comments and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I possibly can and to the best of my ability with my answer. And as always guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.